In my previous video titled, "The Sotic Rise Recorded in the Ilahum Papyrus was on May 27, 845 BC, during Ramses III's 7th year," I dated the latter part of Ramses III's 7th year to 845 BC, while Egyptian chronology dated it to 1179 BC, which means the 20th dynasty during which Ramses III reigned is 334 years too early. In my other video titled, "Correcting Egyptian Chronology's 334 Years Error," Pie defeated Osirkon II, not Osirkon IV, in 743 BC. I explained what caused this error as follows. Pie was a Kushite pharaoh and founder of the 25th dynasty of Egypt, who ruled Egypt from 744 BC to 714 BC. As the son of the Kushite king Kashta, he was both king of Nubia as well as pharaoh of Upper or Southern Egypt, with its capital initially in Thebes. The Stele of Pie chronicles his military feats that he achieved in his regnal year 21 in Nubia, which I believe was also the start of his second year reign in Thebes in 743 BC. One of the pharaohs he mentioned conquering in this military campaign was Osirkon of Bubastis, which Egyptologists identified as Osirkon IV, the last pharaoh of the 22nd dynasty, whose capitals were Bubastis and Tanis. Egyptian chronology dates Osirkon IV's reign at 730 BC to 716 BC, while it dates Pie's reign at 744 BC to 714 BC. It is quite obvious that Egyptologists interpreted the regnal year 21 mentioned in Pie's stele as his 21st regnal year as pharaoh of Egypt, without including his earlier reign as king of Nubia before becoming pharaoh. In my opinion, this is incorrect, and I believe this is where the root of the problem is in the current Egyptian chronology that resulted in dating the periods of dynasties earlier than the 25th dynasty of Pie 334 years too early. In my revision of the Egyptian chronology, the Osirkon of Bubastis, whom Pie subjugated, was Osirkon II and not Osirkon IV. Osirkon II was also a pharaoh of the 22nd dynasty, just like Osirkon IV, but Osirkon II's first regnal year was 142 years earlier than the first regnal year of Osirkon IV. I have no revisions to the dating of the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th dynasties of Egypt, as my revisions apply only to dynasties that came before them, all the way to the first dynasty and the pre-dynastic period of Egypt. However, Egyptologists oppose redating Egyptian dynasties to 3 centuries later than that given by the conventional chronology. This is because, according to them, it would revise the linked chronology of Hittite history. Given the dependence of Hittite chronology on Egyptian chronology, a lowering of Egyptian dates would result in a lowering of the end of the Hittite New Kingdom. Mursili II was a king of the Hittite Empire circa 1321 to 1295 BC, according to the short chronology of the ancient Near East. The solar eclipse mentioned in a text dating to the reign of Mursili II could be of great importance for the absolute chronology of the Hittite Empire within the chronology of the ancient Near East. The text records that in the 10th year of Mursili's reign, the sun gave a sign, just as the king was about to launch a campaign against the kingdom of Hayasa-Azi in northeastern Anatolia. The text specifically said, "When I marched to the land of Azi, the sun god gave a sign." This eclipse is now more commonly identified as the one of June 24, 1312 BC, which was visible in totality in northern Anatolia in the afternoon. The 1312 BC date for the solar eclipse implies that Mursili began his reign in either 1322 or 1321 BC, since the Hittite text records that in the 10th year of Mursili's reign, the sun gave a sign. Furthermore, the start of Mursili's reign, which was pegged at 1322 or 1321 BC, was the basis for dating Tutankhamun's death at 1323 BC, since according to the Hittite annals, Mursili II's reign started shortly after the death of the Egyptian queen Takhamunsu's husband. This Egyptian queen is believed by Egyptologists to be Ankhesenamun, the wife of Tutankhamun. For this reason, the success or failure of both the Hittite chronology and the Egyptian chronology lies heavily on Mursili II's solar eclipse being dated correctly on June 24, 1312 BC. Using Stellarium and by setting the algorithm of delta T to JPL horizons, the date to June 24, 1312 BC or negative 1311 in astronomical year numbering at 11:22:30 UTC, the location at 40 degrees 1 minute 11 seconds north, 34 degrees 36 minutes 55 seconds east, which are the coordinates of Hattusa, the capital of the Hittite Empire under Mursili II, one will see a solar eclipse with maximum eclipse obscuration of 99.6% occurring 5 hours 40 minutes before sunset. Now remember, according to the Hittite text, this solar eclipse happened just when Mursili II was about to launch a campaign against the kingdom of Hayasa Azi, marching towards it. Hayasa Azi's western border seems to have alternated between Samuha and Kumaha. Of the two, Samuha is closer to Hattusa, the capital of Mursili II's Hittite Empire. The distance between Hattusa and Samuha is approximately 106.33 kilometers. Assuming Mursili II and his army were horseback riding and cantering, they could reach speeds of up to 19.3 to 24.1 kilometers per hour. Using the maximum speed of 24.1 kilometers per hour, Mursili II and his army will reach Samuha, the western border of Hayasa Azi, a distance of approximately 106.33 kilometers in about 4 hours 30 minutes at the very least. Since the solar eclipse of June 24, 1312 BC happened 5 hours 40 minutes before sunset, this means only 1 hour 10 minutes are left for Mursili II and his army to engage in battle the kingdom of Hayasa Azi before sunset. After arriving at Samuha, Mursili II and his army and his horses needed time to rest and time to scout the battlefield before attacking. Thus, in my opinion, the timing of the June 24, 1312 BC solar eclipse was too late to be the solar eclipse of Mursili II. Paul Ostrom in 1993 proposed the alternative date of April 13, 1308 BC, which would have been visible as a partial eclipse at sunrise. Using Stellarium and by setting the algorithm of delta T to JPL horizons, the date to April 13, 1308 BC or negative 1307 in astronomical year numbering at 3:27:30 UTC, the location at 40 degrees 1 minute 11 seconds north, 34 degrees 36 minutes 55 seconds east, which are the coordinates of Hattusa, the capital of the Hittite Empire under Mursili II, one will see a solar eclipse with maximum eclipse obscuration of 56.25%, occurring 12 hours 34 minutes before sunset and 6 hours 16 minutes before culmination at noon. This solar eclipse, reaching its maximum just 1 minute after sunrise, would be just right for Mursili II and his army to start marching towards Samoa, the western border of Hyasa, Azi. However, keep in mind that planetary motions are cyclical and have regular orbital periods, so that a similar solar eclipse happening during sunrise can happen again many years later. And one such solar eclipse happened 333 years after the June 24, 1312 BC solar eclipse currently accepted by Egyptologists for Mursili II's historical solar eclipse. And if Mursili II's solar eclipse happened at the latter part of Mursili's 10th year instead of its early part, which is how Egyptologists stated it, then Mursili II's reign was dated 334 years too early. This is consistent with my claim that Egyptian chronology for dynasties earlier than Pia's 25th dynasty are at least 334 years too early. Using a stellarium and by setting the algorithm of delta T to JPL horizons, the date to August 2, 979 BC or negative 978 in astronomical year numbering at 2:30:30 UTC, the location at 40 degrees 1 minute 11 seconds north, 34 degrees 36 minutes 55 seconds east, which are the coordinates of Hattusa, the capital of the Hittite Empire under Mursili II, one will see a solar eclipse with maximum eclipse obscuration of 79.54%, occurring 14 hours 29 minutes before sunset and 7 hours 13 minutes before culmination at noon. This solar eclipse, reaching its maximum just 4 minutes after sunrise, will give Mursili II and his army about 1 hour more to reach Samoa before the sun's culmination at noon, compared to the April 13, 1308 BC solar eclipse proposed by Paul Ostrom. Furthermore, the maximum eclipse obscuration of 79.54% for the August 2, 979 BC solar eclipse is more dramatic and ominous compared to the April 13, 1308 BC solar eclipse. This is why I believe the August 2, 979 BC eclipse is the correct eclipse for Mursili II's solar eclipse, and that Hittite chronology is 334 years too early.